Chicago Sky fans, y'all need to be very, very careful in this moment. You need to be very, very careful. It looks like Angel Reese wants out, y'all. Angel Reese seems to be looking for a way out of the dumpster fire that is the Chicago Sky. And I got to be honest with you, I don't blame her.
The Chicago Sky organization is an absolute freefall. And Tyler Marsh, the first-year head coach who was supposed to bring championship pedigree from Las Vegas, has finally reached his breaking point.
And a lot of people are, calling out Angel Reese right now. And I think we are in a world where when it comes to Angel Reese, everything is under a microscope. And I think there are a lot of people that want to look at everything as a negative when it comes to her. Just like at the same time, it's the same thing with all these players. Like everything stars do is going to be under a microscope. So for me anyway, this isn't the most serious thing in the world, but a lot of people were pointing out that Angel Reese did not show up to Cambridge.
With his team sitting at a dismal 8-23 record, one of the worst in franchise history, and facing mounting speculation that his franchise player Angel Reese has essentially quit on the season, Marsh delivered a scathing indictment of not just his team's effort, but the entire culture that has rotted this once proud organization from the inside out.
Take on Angel Reese that I'm sure will trigger a bunch of people.
Let's hear your take.
But I think Angel Reese, and I'm saying this with my chest out, I think she's quit.
Man, as much as I want to disagree with Jason, man, but I got to admit, I think you're right. And I want to disagree with him so bad.
Tyler Marsh walked into what he thought was a rebuilding project with promise. Fresh off helping the Las Vegas Aces capture back-to-back championships in 2022 and 2023, the 36-year-old coach signed a multi-year deal believing he could work with young talent like Angel Reese and Camila Cardoso to create something special in Chicago. What he got instead was a roster construction nightmare, a locker room culture poisoned by the previous regime, and a franchise player who apparently doesn't have the stomach for adversity.
What's up with Angel Reese, man? There's a pattern with this whole injury thing. Okay, first of all, she has a back injury, and she's been gone for quite some time. But the report says is day to day. It's been more than a week. Okay, day to day is literally day to day. So, okay, sometimes it feels good, sometimes it's a little worse. Okay, let's just monitor it. But it should be good enough to play at any moment. That's what day to day is.
The breaking point came during Marsh's press conference following another embarrassing loss. This time, a 38-point blowout to the Seattle Storm. When pressed about his team's lack of effort and discipline, particularly in the face of mounting rumors about Reese's mysterious back injury and her absence from team activities, Marsh finally let loose with the kind of honesty that cuts through organizational politics like a knife through butter.
Three of our starters are out, and so yes, it's got something to do with that. But like I spoke last game, it's your will and ability to compete. It's something that you always have the ability to do, no matter who's on the roster, no matter who's suiting up. I think that we showed that today. I was very proud, very, very proud of our effort today. Yeah, I mean, it's tough. We had 8 players going into it. One we just signed 7 days ago. So it's tough to get everyone up to speed at the same time. But we came into today with the message of commit and compete. That's been our motto all year.
We have to be better. I mean, all around, we have to be more locked in, more focused, execute the game plan much, much better, Marsh said, his voice carrying the frustration of a man watching his professional reputation crumble in real time. There just has to be a will to win, and we don't have that right now on a consistent basis.
18 to 20 turnovers and giving up 25 points off these turnovers.
Yeah, it's never an excuse. The proof is in the details of what's been the difference in our wins and losses, and a lot of it turns into the ability to take care of the ball. And so it's never an excuse. Teams bring pressure. You got to handle the pressure. And so but our locker room is full of professional basketball players. So they understand the importance of it. It's just a matter of doing it.
If you are enjoying, please subscribe. The elephant in the room, of course, is Angel Reese. The player who was supposed to be the cornerstone of this franchise has been conspicuously absent since July 29th, officially listed with a back injury that seems to have no clear timeline, no specific cause, and suspiciously convenient timing. Reese hasn't just been missing games, she's been missing from team activities entirely. choosing not to travel with the team for crucial games, including their recent matchup against the Indiana Fever. Marsh's comments about Reese's situation reveal a coach who is clearly frustrated with the lack of accountability. "She wants to be out there, she's a competitor, she's a fighter, she's a winner," Marsh said, in what can only be described as the kind of diplomatic language coaches use when they're contractually obligated not to call out their franchise player publicly. "So it's hard for her to not be out there for her teammates, but we want her to be as healthy as possible when she's ready to come back."
But if we're going to be honest, we've seen everybody else that's injured, we've seen their injury. And we have also had updates and heard stuff about their injury. We've seen Caitlin injury. We've seen Nafisa injury. We've seen Brianna Stewart injury. We've seen Ryan Howard injury. We've seen Jordan Canada injury. We've seen Kate Martin like last night get like we've seen a lot of these injuries. We've seen Eric McDonald. We've seen Sydney Colson. We've seen and we've gotten updates. We didn't see Angel injury. We haven't heard no updates or anything.
Translation: Angel Reese is healthy enough to post on social media and make public appearances, but apparently not healthy enough to support her teammates during the most difficult stretch of their season. This is the same player who cryptically posted "in due time" on social media while her team was hemorrhaging games, the same player who was reportedly part of the locker room drama that led to Chennedy Carter's departure. The most damning evidence of Reese's lack of commitment? While her teammates battle through an 8-game losing streak that has eliminated any hope of playoff contention, Reese has been notably absent from the bench during games, choosing instead to focus on her rehab in isolation. This from a player who showed up and played 32 minutes against Washington on July 29th, her last game, suggesting that whatever back injury she's dealing with isn't severe enough to prevent her from competing when she wants to.
Making her money in stat padding, but she can't handle losing. I should have known. It's the same pattern with her. Last year she had a wrist problem. This year she got a back problem. Next year what it's going to be? Lord knows what it's going to be. But all her 5 million followers that badly voted for her to be on the WNBA All-Star team, please don't try to convince us that quitting is the way to go. Because it is not. Quitting is unacceptable. She quit on Unrivaled because her team was losing. She quit on Maryland. You hear me? And I'm pretty sure she would have quit on LSU if they wasn't stacked.
Perhaps the most telling aspect of this entire situation is how it connects to the Chennedy Carter saga that unfolded in the offseason. Carter, who led the Sky in scoring in 2024 with 17.5 points per game, was unceremoniously released after reports of locker room drama and behavioral issues. What's fascinating is Carter's cryptic social media post about consistently making layups after her release. A not-so-subtle dig at Reese, who shot just 42.4% on layup attempts last season, one of the worst percentages in the WNBA. Carter's departure was supposed to clean up the locker room culture, but it's become increasingly clear that she wasn't the problem. She was the symptom. The real issue was a franchise player who apparently felt threatened by a teammate's success and played a role in pushing out the team's most productive offensive weapon. Now, without Carter's scoring and with Reese's mysterious absence, the Sky have lost 10 of their last 11 games and are averaging less than 70 points per game over their recent stretch. The irony is delicious. Carter, the supposed locker room cancer, is now thriving in free agency while actively mocking the team that cast her aside. Meanwhile, Reese, the player the organization chose to build around, has essentially abandoned her team when they need her most.
Angel Reese is the problem, the Chicago Sky. And I've been telling you this since last year. You're not going to win a championship the way that they're playing right now. I don't care if they have Nafisa on the team, Brianna Stewart, or even Angel on the team. If you play your offense through Angel Reese, you're never going to win a championship. Never. Never. Her way of playing already proved that the Chicago Sky will never win that way. They changed coaches. They changed players. They even traded draft picks. 2 years in, there's no improvement. Actually, they got worse.
What makes Marsh's situation so infuriating is that he's being set up to fail by forces completely outside his control. The roster construction overseen by general manager Jeff Pagliacca is a disaster. They lost Courtney Vandersloot to a season-ending ACL injury early in the year, traded away veteran leadership, and surrounded their young core with aging veterans who can't contribute at a championship level. Marsh inherited a team with terrible spacing, a fatal flaw in today's WNBA, and guards who are shooting career-low percentages from three-point range because the offensive system doesn't create quality looks. The defense, which was supposed to be anchored by Reese's rebounding and Cardoso's rim protection, has been the worst in the league, allowing 89.5 points per game and a 46.9% field goal percentage to opponents. "It's not about losing, it's the way we're losing," Marsh said in what might be the most honest assessment of his team's problems. "And we know better. We know we can't help off the strong side corner. We know that we can't go under on shooters. That's pretty much what my messaging was. Just making sure we're doing the disciplined things and doing it the right way, because that's the only way we're going to get better. The problem is, discipline requires buy-in from your best players, and when your franchise player is sitting at home posting cryptic messages on social media instead of supporting her teammates, that buy-in becomes impossible to achieve."
We have to be real. The management has been terrible. Jeff P, horrible. Tyler Marsh has been bad, but like I said, he doesn't have much talent on the team, so we don't know if he can actually coach or not. Now, why is people saying, is Angel Reese trying to force her way out of Chicago? Is she done with this organization already in just her second year? And it is a great question. I don't know if man, I think you got to move somebody. Cardoso, you have to get a influx of talent.
Jeff Pagliacca, the GM who orchestrated this disaster, has been notably quiet as his master plan crumbles. This is the same executive who publicly stated he had significant expectations for the season and made moves accordingly. Those moves included letting Chennedy Carter walk, failing to address the team's spacing issues, and putting together a roster that lacks both veteran leadership and young talent capable of contributing immediately. The most damning indictment of Pagliacca's roster construction: the Sky are paying players like Kia Nurse, Rachel Bannum, and Rebecca Allen significant money to contribute to a team that's currently 5 games behind the worst team in playoff contention. These are players who are 1 or 2 years out of this league, as one analyst put it, and yet they're taking meaningful minutes away from younger players who could actually develop and contribute to the franchise's future. Meanwhile, the Sky don't even own their own 2026 first-round pick. It belongs to the Minnesota Lynx. So this historically bad season isn't even going to result in a high draft pick that could help turn things around. It's organizational malpractice of the highest order.
We got the Chicago Sky general manager, Jeff P, throwing Angel Reese under the bus? Jeff P said he's had enough of missed layups. Oh my God, Jeff P. When you start acting like this?
What's happening in Chicago isn't just about injuries or bad roster construction. It's about a fundamental culture problem that starts at the top and filters down through every level of the organization. When your franchise player can simply decide she doesn't want to play anymore and face no consequences, when veterans are allowed to poison the locker room without accountability, when the front office makes decisions based on politics rather than basketball merit, you get exactly what the Sky have become: a laughingstock. Marsh's comments about needing a will to win aren't just about basketball skills. They're about the kind of mentality that separates championship organizations from also-rans. The Las Vegas Aces, where Marsh cut his teeth, have that mentality. Players show up hurt, they support teammates through adversity, they hold each other accountable for mistakes. In Chicago, they apparently post cryptic social media messages and disappear when things get tough. The most telling moment in recent Sky history might be Angel Reese celebrating on the sideline when Chennedy Carter knocked down Caitlin Clark. It wasn't just unsportsmanlike, it revealed a player more interested in other people's failures than in her own team's success. That mentality has now manifested in Reese's apparent decision to protect her individual statistics and brand rather than fight through adversity with her teammates.
So Angel Reese, the most toxic player in all of basketball, is out here slapping clipboards out of her coaching staff's hand because she's so mad her team committed a foul in the crunch after she shot 15 free throws this game. This is the lowest of the low disrespect that you can show to your coaching staff. She trying to get y'all locked in, worried about the next play, and you so toxic with your terrible, awful attitude that you slap the clipboard out of her hand.
Tyler Marsh is fighting a battle he can't win. He's trying to coach basketball while his franchise player plays games with her availability, His roster is constructed by someone who apparently doesn't understand modern basketball, and his organization lacks the kind of leadership necessary to hold elite players accountable for their commitment. The rumors swirling around Reese wanting out of Chicago aren't surprising. They're inevitable. When you've built your brand around being a winner, but your team is historically bad, the easy solution is to blame everyone else and demand a change of scenery. The problem is, other organizations aren't stupid. They can see what happened with Carter, they can see how Reese has handled adversity, and they can see the kind of culture problems that follow certain players wherever they go. Marsh's frustration is palpable because he knows he's being judged on results he can't control.
So basically, she made it clear she wanted out, like, that she either asked for a trade or demanded a trade. However, if you guys didn't see it, the end of it was like, obviously it was something like that. Angel Reese, heavy on the PS. Like, it does make it sound like, I mean this makes it sound like she is asking for a trade. Or she's at least implying she wants to be traded. Because at the end of the day, you just never know. You just never know what's in players' minds.
But discipline requires leadership, and leadership requires sacrifice. When your best player won't sacrifice her comfort for the team's needs, when your front office won't sacrifice politics for basketball decisions, when your organization won't sacrifice short-term brand considerations for long-term winning culture, you get the Chicago Sky, a franchise that went from championship contender to league laughingstock in the span of one disastrous season. The tragedy is that Tyler Marsh might actually be a good coach. His resume with the Aces suggests he understands winning basketball and player development. But even the best coaches can't overcome players who don't want to be coached and front offices that don't support their vision. In Chicago, Marsh is learning the harsh lesson that talent without commitment is worthless, and culture always beats talent when talent won't work. The Sky's season is effectively over, with a 0.1% chance of making the playoffs and their franchise player apparently checking out. The only question remaining is how much more damage will be done to Marsh's reputation and the organization's credibility before this nightmare finally ends. Based on everything we've seen so far, the answer is plenty more.